Alright, we're back. I do have, let me see here. We did the first map. We have a few more open this session. It actually recommends that we, instead of just going to leave 6, we get a little, we go back a little and try to let me just see, where do I do this? It's not here in the campaign screen, right? It actually recommends that we get a customizable commander and play around a little bit with it. So I'm gonna go Galactic Empire. Rogar Ascendants. Reveal this presence to claim a corner of the galaxy for itself. Etalin Rogar. Shekar Sayonbra. I think I actually had built this character here. I'm thinking about something a little simpler, maybe. But I don't know if it actually had this in mind, or if it just wanted me to customize a commander or get another commander and just play around with it. You know. Yeah, let's check it out. Shakarn Syndicate Vanguard. So, first thing is that I also gotta say about this game is that I really enjoy how these archetypes and patterns were built around the game. So the Vanguard, for example, you know, these exiled soldiers from the Fallen Empire, the Amazons. The story for the Amazons mentioned that they were some sort of a scientific minds that were linked to bioengineering, and by becoming stranded, they turned into this nation of lady warriors, and they have this tremendous link, this tremendous genetic link with biomes. So yeah, the assembly, basically it's a cyborg cult. I think it's kind of like a mishmash of a transhumanism with the Borg collective. The Var, basically the production line guys, the dwarves, the space dwarves. And the Kirko, basically the Fallen Empire that got enslaved by humans. Kind of like if we won the... I forget the name of the movie. Oh man. The one in which... Stellar Troopers. Is that it? Or Star Troopers. If we won the war, we actually enslaved the bugs. The Oathbound are basically the mech guys, kind of like the Lancers and Knights from Warhammer, and the mech warriors, you know, the guys from BattleTech. The Shakarn are basically your reptilian aliens. The Syndicate is basically the guys from Dune. I would say that they are Harkonnens. Well, yeah, that's what they kind of inspire on me. Syndicate are a group of ruthless trading houses from the frontiers of the Empire. With the Star Union gone, they see a universal opportunity. Sorry, I'm still a little groggy today. Been working quite a lot. As usual, I get to this day and I get really, I get here basically trying to get out of the ropes, sort of. So I kind of get here shambling, in a sense. In these sessions, they are kind of my relaxation moment. It's just before I plunge into another crazy workflow. Crazy workflow time frame, you know. So yeah. Starting bonus, 25 influence. Long-term bonus, +1 doctrine slot. Arc weapons, groups, and Psi. So basically, arc weapons harness the power of lightning and electrocute everyone and everything that dares to be on their wrong end of the barrel. The arc weapons group uses the arc damage channel. Arc weapon abilities include damaging multiple enemies, stunning, and statically charging units. Okay. Then the Psi weapons groups. Sinister forces of the void manifested into weapons that can drive any being insane with agony. Psychic weapons group uses psionic damage channel. More of 6 different damage channels: kinetic, thermal, biochemical, entropy, arc, and psionic. Resistances or weakness. Okay, status effects. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I'm thinking about Syndicate. Going Syndicate. Ignore penalties. Stealth capabilities. Conversions. Okay, let's see what I can do with the Syndicate. So this is kind of archetypal as well. Synthesis manipulates AIs to their advantage, hacking and compromising systems to their own gain. Deploy AI daemons in battle. Unit hacker. Replacing your face with a virtual one. Okay, that's some open mockery, come on. If she gets tired of her face, she searches a book of faces, replacing older models with newer models. She said hackers eventually replace everything. She used implants to quicken the neural link in her network. Hackers achieve ultimate freedom by deploying code constructs called daemons to protect themselves and override conformist programming. Synthesis to achieve perfect mastery over all worlds, and I think I'm happy with my boring face. Okay, so they work with submachine guns. That's entropic, right? Haywire Daemon. Staggered and have strength 8, chance to become disabled for 2 turns. Defense mode. These units in turn goes into defense mode. 25% harder to hit and cannot be flanked. Synthesis unit, cyborg. Okay, they're cyborgs. I think that this is supposed to match as a pattern the assembly, right? I mean, it sometimes I have the impression that that each of these technologies was made to match one of the factions. But it's kind of fun to mix and match, you know. Imagine like a Syndicate merchant that screws around with his partners by hacking into their systems, by messing around their electronic contracts, by messing around trade routes and stuff like that. Of course, I don't know if that's possible in the game. I doubt it. But there should be some cool stuff to discover here. Void Tech. Void Tech warps the laws of physics. That's what we were using basically. It's we're using Echo Walkers and basically structuring the playthrough around the notion that we have enough tech to teleport units, and you know, it kind of makes sense, you know, that subspace thing, you know, the multidimensional thing. Xenoplague spreads through a highly adaptive alien parasite that can be used to create biological weapons, develop super soldiers, and evolve planetary populations. Okay, basically that's genetic manipulation, stuff like that. Starting unit postule. Okay, yeah, that's nice. That's charming. Just a lowly bug doctor. This xenoplague discovery is no bug. Until witnessing the alpha strain's parasitic mutation from spore to organized creature, I would have said no other living creature had as much success spreading across worlds as insectoids. Now I see that even the postule exhibits a wicked determination to assimilate all life forms. It's too dangerous. You can't contain its parts of infectious bile. Quarantine your world, it will spread. What you are unleashing upon the universe could end us all. God have mercy if someone weaponized it. Interesting. Yeah. Infectious bite. Highly staggered units, reducing action points and canceling defense modes. Melee bypass all. Yeah, this guy, if I actually built around a syndicate guy with this, he would be basically a biological weapon negotiator, I think. A terrorist, probably. Ambush leap. Biological and cyborg. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of brutal, really. Unit back taking their place. High impact stagger units. Melee bypass all. Parasitic infection. 8 strength chance parasitic infection. So basically, it has an analog power to the other level 1 units, but involving this contamination, this biological damage. Um, yeah, okay. Defense mode around awareness. Cannot be flanked for determination. Skitter. Uh-huh. Small target, amphibious, and has other advantages. Small target, amphibious. Okay, yeah. Okay, the unit itself doesn't justify. I kind of don't see it happening here. Biological units deploying facts. Yeah, you could use this guy as a member of the syndicate, like selling. It could be like kind of like a doctor, you know, like a beneficist or an assassin, kind of like the guys that those I forget those strategoi that existed in Dune's world. I forget their names. Anyway, you could kind of work a guy like that has knowledge and has used this knowledge to commit assassinations or cure people or immunize them against diseases. Instead of just the terrorist idea, could just make that weird counselor, kind of like a technomage or something like that. It's an interesting idea. I think it's better than the other one. Okay, Celestians. Celestians are an ancient order psionically gifted individuals. Strive to achieve inner enlightenment and create balance and harmony in the universe. From the stars and using this power to protect their ideals and teachings. Okay, this is the Lightbringer. Mid-tavern is masked being announces, I see light, I am enlightened, I bring light to you. Kind of like a priest. Apparently some folk at the bar didn't want to be enlightened, they got wrath. Off comes her gloves. Rather than the typical skin, the Lightbringers got glowing coals of hands. Well, you just enter a bar and says something like that, I bring light, and they say that you are the party pooper and decide to fight you. How come? Crimson strikes our foe. There's a fire blast. This is kind of like Star Wars thing, you know. Something the ruffian infidels escape the wreckage. That poor tavern owner. So proud of him. Yeah, it's just every time that someone creates a scene like this with with this tremendous variety of people, I can actually imagine everyone from every corner of the galaxy sitting here, and this Jedi-like figure enters and wants to preach to everyone, and so the battle ensues. You know. I don't know. Units reducing action points and canceling defense modes. Bone Crusher Dash. Lands heavily. Okay. Celestian unit. Is a Celestian unit. Enlightened. According to Celestian ways. Yeah. Same thing. Soulborn strength 8 chance to apply Soulborn until. Yeah. Soulborn. So basically that's the thing, you know. You have these effects from these units. You have a stronger strike, you have some effect, you have some line of defense, and then some special advantages like status resistance. Maybe they dodge better. Maybe they have morale effects. I like this idea here. I could just go this sort of like enlightened merchant stuff, that kind of thing. To your cause. Yeah, kind of like a guy that sells his services by trying to control population. Diplomat. Yeah, the diplomat. Basically, it's the guy that uh, came out of the ranks of the merchant ranks and became kind of like this diplomat. I could see that happening. Psionic and thermal. Okay, Heritor. The Heritor are scions of theocratic dynasty known as the Aztec. Now, the Aztec kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of the how are they called in Warhammer? I forget their names. The robot guys from Warhammer. You know. Let me see. I was just researching those guys yesterday. I can't believe I forget their name. Again, I was actually taking a look at this class yesterday, like literally, you know. This faction. What was their name? I'm sorry, but I have to remember their names. I can't with this. My memory has been iffy lately. You know? Necrons. For some things, at the very least, my memory has been a little iffy. So basically, you would put these guys in the unfortunate position of being kind of like these Necron servants. Technology allows them to harness energy and prolong their lives. Yeah, basically the base concept is the concept of Necrons, you know. They seek to reincarnate billions of followers that lay entombed across the galaxy. It's literally the Necrons. Also reminds me of one of the factions, the Necromongers from... Although they were a little different, you know. They actually devoured other people's souls to remain immortal and access that subplane of death. I don't remember the name. This movie I have watched like a long time ago. It made a little sense, to be quite honest. It was enjoyable in a sense, you know, like one of those Saturday afternoon movies, you know, that you watch with your friends and screw around and all. I can see an archaeologist, someone that traded. I mean, it's literally literally the Necrons. Okay, I need you to get out. Let me, yeah. There you go. Pyramid scheme best left buried in the past. Aztec extends life by draining it. They created dogmas to justify it. Every believer gave a little. Unsustainable incentives went to faithful adopters. Once everyone was hooked, it became clear to live forever, more vitality was needed. Then siphoners appeared, punishing unbelievers and undesirables. Once weaponized, those with money and power got essence indulgences. Sure, they wrapped it in religion, but it was no more virtuous than the Syndicate. The desire to live forever, no more virtuous than the Syndicate. The desire to live forever creates empires, monsters, and always will. Yeah, it could be like a merchant of living energy, you know, like a vampire that trades in for blood. These guys could be the energy vampires of the universe, trading for energy, negotiating energy. It would be interesting, you know. Connect the essence of target enemy. 8 strength energy drain. Yeah, so here you apply energy drain to the target friendly unit, restoring its action points. Essence harvest. Everything is essence harvest and getting more points here. That's fascinating. Essence keeper. Heritor unit. Cyborg. Floating. Okay. That's an interesting bend, you know. Promethean. Promethean is basically burn. The Prometheans are planetary exterminators, eradicating threats with their Pyrex fires. Create weapons of mass destruction, employ powerful incendiary weapons, settle in inhospitable places, shield units and colonists from Armageddon. Yeah, I can see a mercenary group with this, you know. trying to connect the idea of a syndicate leader, we would kind of like go for profit as far as the pattern goes, you know. It's kind of like that. It's basically the trader, you know. So the sly trader as far as archetypes go. Hmm. Yeah, Synumbra. Okay, this is Chthonian, clearly. Shatter reality to terrorize the populace. Initiate. Give up altogether. The Synumbra have clearly decided not only to avoid happiness, but to fight against anyone who tries to find it. No matter, basically the anti-Aristotelian mentality, you know, anti-eudemonic philosophy. Cold and dark initiates can rob victims of hope. They employ a psionic attack called a soul spear, which breaks the mind of an adversary who try to avoid them. A broken mind, that's what they apply. This is so nice. Look at this. Launch a psionic soul spear at the target enemy unit. High impact stagger units, reducing action points, canceling defense modes. Psionic bypass all armor. Broken mind, 12 strength. 12 strength. Chance to apply broken mind to non-mindless for 3 turns. Fueled by servitude. +1 entropy, +1 psychic damage for each indentured unit within battle, affected by line of sight rules. Okay, so, and then we have attempt to feed on the hope of the target enemy unit, causing it to enter a state of despair. If this is successful, the caster heals for 20 points of life, for 20 HP. Filled with Despair, 10 strength chance to apply Filled with Despair to non-mindless units until the end of combat. If resisted, apply Broken Mind for 3 turns instead. So, okay, basically you're trying to make people miserable with your unit. Goes into defensive mode, Burning Stun, defense against Burning Stun, fueled by Servitude. Find joy and encouragement in the servitude of indentured to provide. +1 psychic. What's that? 1 psychic damage. +1 damage for each indentured unit in battle, maximum +3. Okay. And biological infantry land movement, etc. etc. Initiation into agony. Okay, what's this? Group forces tier 3. 300 science secret tech Synumbra. It's time to charge an entry free into this dark carnival. Come, join our ranks. Feel the thrill. Come. Terror can be fun. Ride this attraction into the depths of the abyss. The Fool of the Lost. What? Okay, secret tech Synumbra. Okay. I mean, yeah, so basically you do these guys on the skirmisher barracks and they have... Wow. I like the introduction that they give us as if it was a carnival or something, you know. I mean, I'm thinking about going Heritor, maybe Synthesis, maybe. Yeah, I like these ideas, you know. But everything can actually be fairly productive and fairly interesting as far as a hero can be built here. So, Synumbra, for example, would be cool. You know. Promethean. Okay, so what kind of character do we want to build? You know, we have more doctrines, we have arcs and psi weapons groups anyway. So, I mean, we could basically what we are is a member of a merchant house. So, basically, our deal is to trade things. Maybe we are basically the core of neo-capitalist culture. We trade info, we trade merchandise, we trade commodities. Apparently, we trade people as well. Why shouldn't we trade secrets that we obtain with psionic powers, or maybe trade welfare and uh, the accommodation trade factions, for example. You go into a planet and you sell your services to calm things down, or you go into a planet and you actually work as a spy, and you sell your yeah, literally like an assassin or spy guild that enters the minds of people, invokes horrors from dark to destroy them, or maybe hacks their minds. That would be interesting. I mean, the Syndicate doesn't have to be just a, since everything is marketable. In a sense, everything can become a product. I believe in the mentality of these guys. I will bet they could turn any of these powers, any of these techs into services they provide. They could sell this, they could exchange this quite easily. And what actually caught my attention is that I read one of the descriptions on the Syndicate that mentioned that they could play around with, they would employ spying techniques, quite a lot. Let me research this real quick. But yeah, the idea is that what attracted me the most is that I could maybe create some sort of spy faction, some sort of spying hero or heroine. Yeah, basically, I'm actually checking this out. It's basically the Syndicate. Hmm. And it's interesting. I'm actually running this through. I think I actually got the spirit of the Syndicate because, uh, as far as I understand, a quick research here actually shows that people tend to go to synthesis sign number or Celestian. In fact, if they want to go spies, I think that would be the thing. I think maybe we should go. It's either synthesis. Yeah, these three. Celestian would be interesting as far as that mask of nobility would be fit. But this actually suggests it would be more of a summoning thing, or than actually. I think that we should hack. Yeah, we should be info. That should be interesting. Veteran. Let's see now the advantages here. Perks. Veteran. Enlisted as soon as possible and quickly gain rank and honor. Start at level 3, giving you 10 skill points to spend after landing. Okay. Skilled diplomat. Your natural charisma and sympathetic personality led to a life of diplomatic corps. 300 relations with all races. Martial tradition. No. Merchant scion. Used to be your daily life. Yeah, this is interesting. I actually could kill veteran and put this instead. Xeno trader. Yeah. Star Union scholar. Covert operative. Yeah, this is the one I want actually. Your world is that of intrigue and intelligence, where information is the highest form of currency. The military made good use of you. What was it? What was it the other way around? Or was it the other way around? So you get decreased society operations research by 20% and covert efficiency. You have 2 covert strength, and 2 covert defense. Okay. Yeah, I want to try this mechanic here. Let me get this out. Data repository is interesting. This would be interesting as well, I could get a vice to get me 1 more point without losing the rest, and then get covert operative. Let's see. Cruel. Taking advantage of others is your daily routine. If they aren't serving you, they should be. You're tired to your people. Wow. I have a +4 in happiness. No. Kleptomaniac. Kleptomaniac is an interesting one. You see something on the table, it's unguarded, you pocket it. Your advisor didn't need it anyway. That's how you have been all your life, and you enjoy it. You gain following, embezzlement. You take 10 energy from your empire each turn. Someone needs to plan your retirement after all. Swipe, you stole something during your training, giving you a random mod that works. I still get a mod? Wow. Party animal. You're a party animal, constantly seeking new thrills and ways to party harder. You even organize festivals in your colonies. Yeah, that would be interesting, you know, get this tyrant, you know, and he soon becomes a despot, uh, submitted to his own vices and trying to sate his own desires. And since he is a party animal, there's a festival every week. He breaks his nation just partying, just throwing ragers all over the place. Okay, unproductive. Reckless partying in festivals reduce productivity in all colonies, reducing production by 10%. Party time. While you are the commander of an army, everyone's having a good time. Units in your stacking +100 morale. Okay. I keep imagining, did we have a general? Probably had a general that was like this when leading armies, you know, saying, okay, let's, since now we won the battle, let's just have fun. Of course, I'm not going to enter the details. I'm not going to step into the details of what that meant because that's probably monstrous. But now I keep figuring that out. You know, a guy that loves triumphs that enters the city and lets their men just drink themselves under the table after a battle. I don't know, that understands a battle as a rager. You know, like a celebration of violence and might. I don't know. Stubborn. You are set in your ways. After all, change is not always pleasant. You defund parts of your search budget so that things go more okay. So you lose. Okay, you defund science and decadent. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go kleptomaniac. I think it matches a little better. And give me covered operative, so I keep the data repository. That I think matches my idea here for the character. Your race gave you a repository of Empire information. You're not sure what it contains. It will help jumpstart your research. And I keep the Syndicate close combat equipment. Alright. Now we need a leader. Let's put a cool background first. This is very AOW3. You know, this kind of background here. Reminds me a lot of AOW3. Yeah, this one looks cool, you know. It's kind of on the cold color side of things. Posture. Head. We changed the gender. Yeah. No, you changed the background. Change the gender, you kinda... Okay, this one's good. Okay, I need you to turn to me, honey. If I am to actually choose a face. I have 3, okay. Turn around, yeah. Okay, this one's cool. Skin texture. Stop looking around. Okay, skin decoration. So I can put some scars on you. It would make sense that you're kind of scarred or something, because... Well, okay, some paintings would be cool as well. Woman, stop! My God, stand still. Yeah, I think I can then change the posture to make her... Yeah, that helps. Okay, this is entirely Dune, you know. Got too much of that spice. Yeah, some sort of glimmer in the eyes would be cool. Let me just change the painting. This one's cool. Just so to suggest that she has some sort of a attack alteration hairstyle. I don't really see anything in here. Let me get the accessory out. Oh, the accessory is in the face. Oh, there's some cool stuff here. Okay, let's get the head item out first. Okay, just so I can mess around with the hair. Because I kind of want to... Even if it's not going to show when I put some other stuff in there. Cape. Yeah, let me see the character first instead of his... The armors are too bulky, you know. Which is cool, by the way. But let me chisel the character first, you know. Kind of give her an identity. Oh, this is all Doom stuff, really. Or some Star Wars in the middle of this. This looks like one of those ridiculous Star Wars comms. Okay. Yeah. Kind of looks cool. Eyebrows. Okay. You give me this much detail, I can actually mess around with the eyebrows. Okay. I didn't remember that. Alright, this one looks cool. Jaw. So this is a night there. I can actually change the hair color if I want. Yeah, I'm not gonna put someone with blue hair or pink hair. I think it's a very dated way to, because it's like 30 years ago this was actually harder to do, so it would look unusual, you know, if you had, as if you had some tech to customize your own appearance. Nowadays it's just too regular. Which is fascinating, really. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's something glued to your jaw. It's just maybe to compose the. Let me mess around with the armor. Okay, I can actually change the skin color as well. Good. There are some weird colors for the skin here as well, you know, as if you know that that would be interesting to suggest that she also has some sort of genetic alteration or something, you know. Yeah, this looks better, I think. Okay, well, this is actually a revival of the best elements from sci-fi from the last, I don't know, 50, 60 years. Maybe more, maybe, oh, certainly more. Okay, let's look at the armor. Very military. No, I kind of want something a little more subtle, you know, like this. Except for the medals. The medals are ridiculous. Does she have... She actually has a... Is that the tattoo? Can't really say. Okay. Legs, let's go back a bit. So, yeah, this looks cool. No, doesn't match. Interesting. I'm gonna put legs 1. See accessories. So, yeah, I can put accessories in her. This accessory looks cool, by the way. This looks too much. Okay, stop. Yeah, this one's subtle enough. And I can put a cape. Bulky, too bulky. Interesting. Okay. What's this one? On the translucid one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this one. Let's change the posture again. This posture is too stiff. Okay, this one's better. Even the posture for the models, you know, kind of reminds me of Age of Wonders 3. Secret technology, okay, that's fine. So now let's mess around with this. Okay, now I can change the color of the armor through this as well. Yeah, I think we should go. I like what they did here. This matching of the armor color with the banner makes a lot of sense to me, you know. Okay, the eyes looks cool. Zendravel Sad. No, that name is not gonna work. All right. Hmm. I think no. Let me see. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is a homage. It's a mix of titles and stuff that appears on Neuromancer, which is one of my favorite works of all time, really. Okay, so now I have a character. Should go new planet? Maybe just go new planet. Yeah, instead of just going into the Empire thing, you know. It's even prepared here. There's a practice world, virtually constructed world for fledgling commanders to practice. I played this. It's probably faster. Do I get to mess around with this? I can't really. Yeah, the problem is that I can't really do much with the. I can't mess around with the opponents, you know? Because I kind of want to ramp up, you know? Otherwise, I'm not going to learn it. I actually played this world once. It's not hard at all. Oh, I can actually mess around with the other difficulty, other world's difficulty. Conquered world. One commander with extra resources is pitted against a team of others. Infested, fallen xenoplague. Tomb world, asserted by the Aztec and too many of their remains. Imperial world. Imperial world is suitable for recolonization. And I could just put normal. And let's go down to normal. Yeah, small world's fine, because we don't really want to go too much. Let's just take a look at the advanced tab here. Random commander. No, I kinda... So this is me, so I kinda wanna choose my commander. Let me get this command. Molly Razor. Yes, please. Alright. What else? I'm gonna leave these open so we can discover during game. Game flow. Standard and everything on standard here. Invasion's difficulty. Okay, leave that as is. Turns. No turn timer. Okay. World. Yeah, okay, so it's all fine. I'm gonna leave everything as is. Let's launch.
Salutations, scion of the Syndicate. Your ancestors led the earliest conquest of space, gathering fortunes and establishing aristocratic houses across the galaxy. Despite having to submit to the Star Union, wealth, influence, and a caste of servants have followed your houses to this day. Nobility brings obligations. Don't have the collapse of the Union turn you into a petty robber baron. Restore this planet to civilization.
I think she's literally robber. Okay. Yeah, so basically the idea here is to kind of role play a character that is, well, um, kind of like she would be kind of like uh, the Assassin's Guild of this universe, you know. She would be the commander, of course, and she would be kind of ruthless in a sense, but very very bent on the use of information and espionage techniques to find their victims, to find her victims, you know. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. Fertile plains all over the place, which is interesting. We have some mountains around here. Uh-huh. What else? Crash Surveyor John pickup. So we have some pickups here. Oh, what's this? Small anomalous site. Faint signal of unknown origin, hidden deep within thick vegetation. Okay. What else do we have in the closer area here? We have another pickup here, right? Yeah. It's defended by Syndicate Lightbringers. Oh, so we have the Celestials here as well. We have a... And they are allied with assemblies. Interesting. So we're gonna have fire here and Soulburn. What do we have here? Bugs. What's this? Claim that native Kirko hives are stirring up conflict with our minor operation. Bugs claim cosmite deposits in bodies of gods long dead. Like most corpses, creatures feed on the decomposing remains. Our crew try to ignore their paranoid superstitions, but some have nightmares of pulsating creatures of crimson crystal tunneling into their minds. They say that it's some kind of psionic parasite, capable of latching onto a host and siphoning life. Executives assert it's a Kirko hoax, but the miners still whisper of psionical leeches. So these guys have life siphon. Strikes on miners, okay. Arc resistance. Less damage and less likely to trigger status effects. Thermal resistance, psionic resistance, metamorphosis. Liquid thick. Okay. What else? Reverend Shrine. Sharpened Rocks. Love the names. Rising Heights. Yeah, this one's kind of meh. So we have Arcadian Mountain again. Okay. So yeah, we actually need more energy, right? I mean, yeah, it's not really screwing me too much right now, but I'm gonna need to think about energy soon. Municipal Courtside. So Arcadian Ruins, Abandoned Quarry. Which is here, by the way, right? What do we have here? Kirko Echo Walker. Assembly Scavenger. Well, basically they are undead, look at this. Fairy tales of goose looting graveyard crypts, hungry to feast upon the dead. Her stories haunted me when I saw the assembly scavengers wandering lost battlefields, harvesting flesh from the fallen. As basic infantry of the assembly, one of their arms replaced with a short-range shotgun. Yet scavengers don't eat flesh. They use their long vivisecting claws to amputate viable body parts. Woof! For transplantation. My left leg was removed at the knee in one such unfortunate encounter. Somewhere out there, a part of me fights for my enemy. Well, that's insane. I like that description. It's really disturbing in a sense. Imagine you seeing someone you actually loved once, the face joining the assembly in such a deplorable state, you know. Yeah, they can heal and stagger. They have arc resistant status, effect resistant burning or stunned. Simulate. Scavenge up spare parts. That's interesting. What about the Echo Walkers for the assembly? Yeah, they are like the other Echo Walkers. Okay. Alright, so there's one more, right? Yeah, the Kirkwall Echo Walkers. That's same. So just going 1-1. Oh, they're gonna change in here, down here, right? They're gonna have some other advantage like Frenzy or Swarm Shield. Yeah, they change a little bit in here, so they have assimilate. They have their own faction advantages then on top of those variations. What do we have here? We have a faction right by our side. Is that it? Yeah, we have the Forgotten right by our side. My spy bots observed the Serpion. It's littered between life pods, the living jewel of its crest pulsating. Upon discovering a cracked case, it plunged its fangs into the occupant, draining the body's essence, turning it into a lifeless husk. The creature's fins crackled with life as it climbed up the hierarchy of dreaming bodies to a row of hereditary elite, where it used its injecting tail to fill their decorative chambers with vitality. It repeated this task, transferring life from the least to the privileged until it spied my camera and spewed entropic rot. Wow, this is charming, really. Look at this. My. Essence fangs. Sharp fangs that dissolve and drain essence. Chance to apply energy drain. Caster gains essence charge. Necrophagy. This unit devours the corpses of its skills ability, healing 8 and gaining 1 essence charge. Okay. Stinger shot. Rot emanation. Rotting essence. Okay. Essence fiend. This unit carries 2 essence charges. It doesn't spend essence. It consumes the corpse and gains 1 essence charge and heals 8. Okay. I love the models in this game. Golan. This is a freaking Golan. Look at this. We thought another decorative statue until a crimson jewel on its crest ignited and the lumbering form of an Aztec golem moved to block our progress into the Heritor Vault sleep chambers. Even from a distance the thing could drain the essence from our expeditionary forces, disregarding their body armor and shields. Slow but powerful, it pushed our advance back, sapping our lives and degrading our armor with its entropic blasts. We might still be fighting it today had we not developed Reaper tech to counter it. Fire shot against those who disturb their vessel. That's cool. It's really a big, bulky bodyguard with entropic weapons. Really cool. Phase manipulator. Saw the one on the ground beside me, unavoidable imminent death gripped me. The angry mob rushed forward to finish me. Then I blinked. I felt a slight tug. My mind buzzed. Somehow it was behind the defensive bulwark beside a Voidtech phase manipulator. It was as if time rewound. My arm was back where it belonged. Crackling blue energy burst from the device, dispersing angry protesters. Rifle in my restored arm, I returned fire with renewed vigor, saved by this Voidtech invention. Phase shift, abduct. Dimensional stability, phase, evacuate. Teleported to an agent. Cool, they actually teleport the units to safety. Fire blast of energy at the target, affected by the line of sight rules. Okay. What about you? You are the Forgotten, really. So basically we have 3 Forgotten units and we have a phase manipulator here with 4 of them. Once we dreamed of living forever, now we hide in tombs of our own making. And there is only one mind left in this dark place. It thrives on vengeance. It demands everything. I've nothing left to give. Our hatred twists and festers down here. The compound seethes with malice. Even the drained are tainted by malice. They fight our enemies, but consume the essence for themselves. They don't share it with the commune. Our dream is lost. Will I become one of the desolate when I am drained? Bypasses all shields. Energy drained to targets 3 turns. Unstable decay. Oh, it can actually explode. Huh. Okay. Oh, so they can explode mid-combat and return later on, apparently. Or is there some footnote that stops it from happening? No, apparently not. So if they are dead, maybe they can use resurgence to go come back with half of their hit points. That's interesting. That's an interesting unit. Bizarre conception, really. Okay, so this is basically the seat. There's an Imperial Research Center. Oh, it's not the faction per se, but basically it's an occupied territory by this faction, right? Union mind pods direct even the most undisciplined engineering and scientific minds to produce useful technological research. Lab Director, Wigan Tika, Lab Director. Imperial Research in the Denmark sector, an old Star Union sector base which is still operational. Acts as a pre-built research exploitation and provides an additional 10 science and plus 2 people. Or scientists, or whatever that is. What's this? Additional locks following building in their colony learning center. Okay, so Molly Razor has a claim here. Okay. In here we have another stash to be taken. We have Dvar Prospector, Syndicate and Insured, and an Echo Walker for the Dvar. Well, we have some variety of some multiplicity of species here. Okay, settlement neutral, crash research ship, and other pickups. So we have tons of pickups here. We have pickups like 3, 4, 5. So we have pickups on 6, 3, 6, like 8. Again 6. So we have pickups from 6 hexes from us. A bit more sometimes. And here we can increase production if we take this and bring these guys down. We also have on this province an overgrown biodome. So it would be interesting to get this one up north, maybe. Let me just check. Yeah, these two would be interesting, you know. This for production, this for food. And here we have some spiders and bugs and stuff like that, so yeah. And in here we have people with void tech control. Oh yeah, what's this, by the way? Charming. Proceeded without a hitch until a flying circle of bugs spied the convoy. We sniped it first, easily blasting it out of the sky. Despite my objections, the captain thought we could continue unnoticed. That's when they swarmed. Although there were dozens of targets, together their strange oppressive insectoid minds screamed in our heads, making them harder to hit. Men panicked, fleeing in all directions. The only reason I survived was that I hit my head on an ammo box hatch and was trapped therein. Ma Regnib. Observer Officiate, RV772X, Nectar Run, the prize of power. So we have Stagger, Gunshots, Far Side, Swarm Shield, +2 when adjacent friendly. Okay, Swarm Shield. So yeah, we have assemblies that can renew their lives at our cost. Basically, they deliver physical damage. We have some Echo Walkers with their Void Blades, some teleportation on the field, which might be peculiar. What about our own troops? We have Indentures, we have Hackers, and Overseers. What's this? This is a runner. Cool, yeah. This is very hearkening. You know, guys are floating in here. It's very cool. Anti-gravity boots. Scouts like me can earn a decent wage in the service of the family. I try to steer clear of conflicts. I've no gift for sci-tech. I don't have the tech for heavy battles. But what's the harm in sharing a little information for the thrill of speeding over water and land alike? Slavery, corruption, smuggling. Sure, Syndicate has its questionable parts. Maybe, yeah, it has its questionable parts. Questionable. But what doesn't have the questionable parts these days? We do what we can to survive. It beats starving. It's a living. Yeah, basically you sold yourself, right? You're a sellout. And flanking affected by line side rules. Arcbolus. They can mobilize units. That's interesting. Shields up. Escape module. Cool. Revives the 15th. Flanker. Universal camouflage. They're standing on it. Oh, that's cool. So I can spy the entire map with these guys. Now we're talking. All right, yeah, that's my army. I like these units. In here, do we have? Yeah, we have another runner here. Let's take a look at the indentured. The Narco family purchased my family's debt. It originated from my great-grandfather. When he failed to profit from the venture, the debts fell into collection for up to 5 generations. That's the terms. I paid off through indentured servitude. I do what they want, fight or die. I belong to the owner. Many folks lost their livelihoods when the bloody Star Union crashed. I don't blame anybody really. I live, many didn't survive. So that's that. I'll do whatever it takes to pay down the principal, even with a gun. Yeah, it actually mentions it's a halfway Warhammer. This, you know, it's a very crappy future. Power blast. Unit centers defense mode afterwards. Okay. Knockback non-ethereal. This is important. Widespread. Pulse repeater. Psionic resistance, cerebral control collars. Discipline. And Overwatch. They can Overwatch as well. They are interesting variation of the standard soldiers for the Vanguard. What else do we have? The hackers. Yeah, the hackers. We read the story of the hackers already. So they have the submachine gun, breach submachine gun, the scrambling virus, haywire demon. Yeah. So basically, we're working with stagger and tossing people back. You know, let's see this. The overseers. If I had to choose order of profits, I'd choose profits. Profitability is paramount. Order is something you purchase with sufficient profit. As an overseer, I can unlock a man's profitability. Developers, engineers, and tech workers are paid to do their job, but even the best worker is but a resource to be used. Their lives don't matter unless they produce a profit. It is the nature of the common worker to be undisciplined. With the sci-tech powers I've mastered, I inspire discipline. Ooh, this is interesting. merging capitalism with psionic powers. Indentured are my best tools. For me, they fight even when exhausted. Valorix's now RV9000F Horde Management. This makes a lot of sense in this context, you know. Again, it's really crappy, a really crappy world. Imagine you're basically your if you have debt, you actually inherit debt and it doesn't cancel. So if I think there's some sort of intricate form of wisdom in societies, in many societies, because most of them, at least to my knowledge, legally speaking, since antiquity, since the ancient times, actually manage the heritage of debt in a lighter way. For example, if you get the Israelites, they actually have the year of Jubilee every 50 years. All all land property was returned to their original families. For example, or every 7 years, you had to release slaves. You know, or if you actually get go around the world, every time someone actually has debts that surpass their amount of property, it actually gets canceled by the amount of property they have before uh, before inheritance is delivered to the heirs. At the very least, it's kind of like that in here, and I know I think we have a lot of legal systems that understand this kind of relationship like that. It actually avoids situations like this, you know, where you actually had you actually have several nations in the antiquity, several empires and realms in ancient times that would allow you to give, even Israelite, for example, would allow you to give someone, a child of yours, uh, deliver them into slavery to um, pay your debts with work. So it's kind of a mixed bag, you know. But if you actually get to turn someone's debt into an inextinguishable line of debt alongside the inheritance, alongside the airline, sorry. I mean, this is the kind of situation that you create, especially in a universe where you're dealing with people that are basically masters of negotiation, you know. I'm sorry, I'm a little clunky to talk today. I'm a little stuttery, or yeah, I'm stammering a lot because I'm a little tired. That's all. But yeah, I think the idea. I hope the idea actually came across. But so you have like 5 generations of people that all lived under debt and probably all worked as indentured servants for these great houses. And obviously, the great houses would just impose. If they have power over a world, for example, they will impose unfair conditions, so the population remains under slavery, you know, under slavery conditions. And guys like these are certainly used, you know, or they are certainly submitted to um, they are basically submitted to similar conditions. I mean, they are in the middle. They are in the middle range. You know, the boss here, for example, is Molly. So she's probably the one that actually gets some profit from it, and probably she doesn't even have it to. She doesn't even enjoy that. Most of them wouldn't. You know, it would be a disadvantage for you to use your riches and your wealth and just enjoy life in a sense, because you're fighting other great houses that are just as bound to kill you and enslave you as any other as you are towards them, you know. So their disposition would be terrible. I know. Mm. Okay, so Cytec staff target enemy to fire blasts of psionic energy, bypasses all armor. Okay. Then cerebral override, 5 psychic damage, but regains all their action points. Wow. So basically, you can actually you hack their brains, And this is kind of horrible. I mean, you're harming the person. Oof. There's this faction, I forgot their name, in Endless Legend that kind of did something similar, you know, with paying rituals would feed the magic that these guys had. It's a very interesting faction, by the way. But I think it's on the same level now. Sci-tech revitalization, target-friendly biological or cyborg unit, so they can heal as well. Biological recovery. Mm-hmm. Okay, impose discipline. Yeah, okay, so basically this is why these units have discipline. It's because of this guy. So it's an interesting unit to have the Syndicate Overseer, you know? Biological infantry, okay, okay. Okay, let's take a look at you, Molly. Look at these gloves, charming. You're actually using the power gloves from, I don't think they call it the power glove anymore. In Warhammer, they used to call this the power glove, you know, that glove that actually lets you punch people and deliver tons of damage. I don't remember what they changed the name, Park Live or whatever, because of that Nintendo thing. Psytech fists. Okay, I can tell you look ridiculous. You know, you look like a toddler. You know, one of those Hulk plastic hands that children use to play around. So it's kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, I guess it's functional and interesting. Sonic gauntlets, stagger. Melee bypass all shields and armor. Okay, and what's this? Bolus. Yes, bolus. Hmm. Let me see the mod that I got. Regenerative dermal patches. Band-aids. You got band-aids. Okay. Oh, they're super band-aids. You know, if I had one of these, every sort of cut and bruise that I ever had would heal in 5 minutes. Additionally, this mod grants a unit plus one shield. Wow, they are hyper band-aids. They are really cool. So I have the Cytec Strike. I think this comes from the fists. Power Fist. That's the name of the thing in Warhammer. Crush an opponent with psionic gauntlets. Okay, melee bypasses all shield. Okay, okay. Arc Bolas. That's the second weapon she has. Regenerative dermal patches. Okay, that's the reproduction of the weapons. So basically all sessions, weapons, then the resistance that you get, whatever you have because of your faction, and yeah, the configuration of your units. So hero, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so yeah, still figuring out how exactly I'm gonna roleplay this girl, but I think I have a pretty good idea right now how to start playing. And yeah, I need to bring these guys down first. You know, I know it's been 1 hour for the video, but as I mentioned, this series is gonna be really slow, you know, because I kind of want to get immersed in the scenario. I kind of want to plunge into what the game has to offer. So let's try and attack these guys here first. Yeah, they have a nice defense. Let's enter the manual combat. Let's see what we can do here. There's only one way to know if I can do this, if we have what it takes. Let's go into battle. So I keep imagining this girl actually arriving in the world and trying to set a base for herself in there. She wouldn't probably just fight the other factions. She would toss them around against each other, because a family house like this, like House Razor that I just invented with a sort of a ridiculous name because I wanted the character. I want to remember the character from Armitage's girl in Neuromancer. Okay, let's take a look at the scenario first here because it's just so awesome. Look at this. These maps are just awesome. What's this? I don't care if I can reach or can't. That don't just say obstacle. Let me. Okay, so we have tons of trucks here. Oh, it looks like a factory. I'll give you that, you know. You got these ramparts, you got... I don't know what are these reservoirs here. Well, that's really cool. It's basically a production space, yeah. Lots of tanks with God knows what in them. What's going on here? Something's burning here, isn't it? Up here, I mean. And we also have something... Burning ground. Haha. Moving through any turn on these axes. So what's that? Is that refuse, or is that some sort of weird lane for molten metal or something? Okay, let me see. So void blades, okay, evasion. Okay, we have two with void blades, evasion and stuff like that. We have these guys that can renew their lives. So we have 45, 40, 40, and well, these little bastards is with 35. Okay. What I can do then is try to prepare myself for their arrival, but let me see if I can... It's just that if I get, for example, her, I can move her as far as here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's still a lot of reach, I guess. So I'd sooner just prepare these guys and put them behind cover. You know? Toss the indenture to the front, I think. You know, let's use the Overwatch. I can't Overwatch with you? Oh, damn. Let's move this guy here. The idea would be to try and Overwatch, so when they come around, they get shot like a 9 Oasis Sunday, you know? You can't really do much. You can paralyze these guys, so let's move you behind here. No, this is not good. Yeah, this is not very good. Yeah, I didn't really move these guys very well this time around, but fine. Just gonna defend my people here and let them come.
Operations ready.
Okay. So I can move you here. Okay, let's move you a little bit further. And Overwatch. Let them come to us. I know. I think this is probably the best course of action right now. No, 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 no. Here. They move inside now. They get blown. Forcibly infected with hostile demon. Scrambling virus. Let me see. I can stagger someone, right? Yeah, but I actually would toss this guy here. I can toss her and provoke these guys into action, maybe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but it's still too far. If I move her here, I can actually target these little guys here. You know? Well, I can move her here. Let's see. Let's see if I can provoke these guys into action. Still out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4. But, oh, it's on 6. It's not on 5. Fine then. Okay. I don't think I can move her further. and still maintain. Yeah, but then I would have to move her into Burning Ground. I can't really. The only one that can move across is the Kirkall. The others will have to move through that bridge, you know. I don't think she can attack these guys yet. They are too far yet. So it's not the case. These guys are floating, so I could move them a bit further and immobilize those guys there. Let's see if they take damage or not. They don't. Good. Price of learning the game. Okay, use the bolus. Immobilized, okay. So you can toss the override. How far? 7. Yeah, you can shoot them. I kinda don't want to risk you though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I could move you. Probably 3, 6. Yeah, I would have to move you. I would have to risk you. I'm gonna move you here instead. Maybe I can shoot you here. I don't think it's. I think it's other range, isn't it? No, no, it's not. None of them are. So yeah, so take a shot. I missed. Shame. It's fine. Okay, defend. You're okay. Let's see if I have single enemy unit in 9 damage, high impact. This attack can jump 2 additional targets. This should be interesting. Select. I don't even have to prime this bad boy, so I can actually toss it against you. Ah, yeah. Good. Go. That was fun. They moved. Good. Yeah, it was kind of expected. They would start doing these things, you know. Problem is these guys are vulnerable now. I kind of don't want them. Oh my god. They're really vulnerable. Okay, Maul. Alright, so now it's on. I could just shoot these guys. How far would the explosion go and what would it do, you know? 15, okay. Yeah, that's an idea. Can you shoot from here? 80%. This is gonna, yeah. Kinda just want, let me see if I can move these guys around. Alright, I have sibs here. Let me move this guy then. Here. Now take the shot. Oh yeah, baby. Let me liberate these guys here. Gotta pull them back.
Enemy annihilated.
Love the voice. Alright. I'm gonna have to retreat you. First, let me... I don't really want to push her there. Because of the damage she's gonna take. But I have to move her out of here first. So I'm gonna have to move these guys as well. Move. In them.
Good riddance.
Good. Now I can move you. I can move Molly here. I don't think that... yeah, but I can actually fixate these guys with the bolus at least. You know. Regenerative dermal patches. Yeah, this can use this just on her. I'm gonna move her here, so I can move this guy from here. Yeah, it doesn't matter, I can't reach him. Let's just mobilize this guy. Little damage in immobilization, good. Now I pull you back. You know, I'm gonna pull you back here. Let's see. I can deal arc damage 2 times to other enemy units and into hand axes. That's good. If I actually attack this guy here, it can actually jump to the others. But it won't kill him. It's the guy's paralyzed anyway, so it would be interesting. But I can also use the Haywire Demon. Forcibly infected. Yeah. And then it would be either staggered or disabled. I'm actually going to use this here, so it can't move. Great. Now I got then stuck, you know? And as for you, yeah. You're stuck in here as well. But at the very least, now I saved the ass of my guys here. Maybe. And I really mean maybe. Let's see, I have this. Can use this again. Select. I could use this on this, because they are gonna come out of this state soon. You know. Impact stagger. I'm gonna stagger these guys. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Good. Good.
Good riddance.
Excellent. Now we're gonna shoot you. Missed 3 shots, man. Come on. Let me think. Can I shoot him? I can. It's just that I think I'm gonna use this healing patch here. I'm gonna revitalize this guy here. Good. So I can keep him fighting. Yeah, now I use the pistol. Yeah, I could use from a further position. Wasn't such a good idea to do this particular move, but fine. It's just too... they don't really... Move this guy here and then. 40% slow. Fine.
Enemy down.
Yeah, it's just shave off another one. Okay, let's see what the next turn reserves for us. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, that's fine.
Enemy annihilated.
There we go. Now, they actually repositioned a very inconvenient place for me. Let me just move this guy around. These guys around. Plan now is to... Now, come on, not there. Yes, this is it. Should have the perfect position to do this. Okay. We don't have any other soldiers left around here, so I can move this guy here without burning his feet. And overwatch the entire area. Good. You're gonna use this patch thing. I'm not gonna burn you. There's no freaking way I'm gonna burn you. I'd sooner keep you in there. Move her here. Okay. There. You're gonna have to come face me. Eventually. Good. That's a lot better than I expected, really. Reposition 90%. Let's end this.
Our forces are victorious.
That was fun. Alright. Took some damage though. They actually leveled up, which is very good. Abandoned quarry explored 54. Take the reward. Okay. So I got some production. And this area here is ready to be assimilated. Of course I need to actually grow my city too, so it can assimilate that.
One of my regulars, a scientist developing arc weaponry, said that I was his inspiration. My android systems were specialized to avoid static buildup. Something about friction. Rub up against enough people, and it creates sparks. M3, EBOT, and a patent dispute lawsuit.
Patent dispute lawsuit. That's interesting. He actually stole knowledge. Yeah, that's our business. Static buildup module. Attack from arc weapons have a 12 strength chance, 8 for repeating attacks. Apply static charge. Stacking debuff that lowers the target's attack resistance by 1 for 2 turns. Grants units 10% increased damage on all abilities. Okay. And we have arc discharge. Okay. Jump 2 additional targets, okay. Yeah, okay. That's basically the initial thing I have. Synthesis integration.
If you ignore all the bugs, this is our best release to date. Fanatic, Democoder, Perpetual Rootkit.
What's a democoder? Guardian Demon Shell. The unit's 20% harder to hit by ranged attacks. They also become integrated, allowing them to interface with synthesis technology. Additionally, this mod grants +1 shield, +1 armor. This mod can only be applied to biological, cyber, and mechanical units. So I got armor, what else? Targeting Demon Shell. The unit gains 10% accuracy and 10% critical hit chance. They also become integrated, allowing them to interface with synthesis technology. Basically, you're putting these people online with these mods. One for armor, another for hit, for the attack, for the hit. Can only be applied biological, cyber, and mechanical. Okay, and integrated military networks. units are integrated, allowing them to interface with the synthesis technology. All militia units control become integrated. Cool. Alright. So I have you, I can explore with you. Check the map. We have a lot of things. North, little less, south. Of course, the east-west axis. I'm sending my troops over there already, so I'm gonna send these guys here. Check what's here. Cool. Nobody can see him anyway. You just check the quest. Score victory round 1 on 50, score 0. So, unity, military, and development. So we have here the quest that will open up as the game goes by. Emissary. This world teems with life and opportunity. Natives have a rich culture and could teach us much. We should send an emissary to make contact. So basically you have 3 lanes here: diplomatic, military, and production. And then you can develop and complete these fixed quests here. It's a very good idea. Okay, then in here, the invader. Declare war. It's filled with resources and riches, but they are guarded by savages and dusty old remnants of the past. Should take up arms against these people so that the treasures of this world will be ours. So basically, yeah, it's interesting because the first message in this game actually showed that the Syndicate can degrade into a petty king little thing, you know, the robber barons thing, you know. Like, you invade the planet and take by force what you want to trade around. But that, on the long run, this is to their disadvantage because they need trade partners. Really, that's how they function. They actually build production chains and they build trade networks. So it would be to their advantage to have people working and producing for them instead of just robbing these people blind. You know, that's an interesting prospect. You know, I like the way that they develop it. They unfold the story here. You know. Okay, the invader, warmonger. Okay, and builder. The colony, what? The colony we have built is just the beginning. The first step on the road in mighty empire. Our focus should be construction and growth. The colonies will build now with bedrock in the future. Kind of serves as a tutorial too, right? At sectors you have to exploit colony sector, found second colony. I think that it would match. I mean, any of the 3 could go for a character kind of like Molly, because the idea is that Molly is kind of like she's kind of like, I imagine her as this character that gets what she wants from forceful means if she needs to. But since she was probably raised, or just a sec, she was probably raised or grew into the ranks of some sort of house to become the head of her own house, she would probably be the kind of character that might be political and diplomatic at some point. Although her main characteristic is that I imagine that a character like her would have climbed through the ranks. She wouldn't have been like highborn in a sense, born into wealth, into some sort of landed aristocracy or some sort of a merchant conglomerate. You know, she wouldn't be a wealthy kid. She would probably be the one, like, she would be kind of like it's kind of like a spy or no, spy is not the term. She's a spy. Kind of like a henchwoman for someone, you know, like a henchman, you know. She would be kind of like this um, the person that takes care of the dirty jobs for someone in the house. She might even have betrayed someone and leapt power into some sort of a house, like a gray eminence at first, and then she would kill the head of the house and take over, or use some sort of a fake identity to toss herself into some sort of inheritance, or would have worked her way into an inheritance, killing all other heirs to just you know, get that get the seat of the house alone in an emergency time or something like that. Yeah, I can actually envision that. You know, she's not into the house. She's not blood of the house. She's not from the bloodline, but she works her ass to be pivotal to the politics and the interests of this house, to the point that the patriarch or matriarch brings her into into the heritage line like an adopted kid or an adopted person, and knowing that she kind of like decides to obliterate the her opponents, you know, obliterate her competition, and she kills all the other heirs one by one until she's the only one left, and she takes over the house. That would be a cool backstory for her. So she's kind of ruthless in a sense, but that's her thing, you know. She's kind of like the masked this masked trickster, very violent, very ambitious in a sense. And so she uses the power of this merchant house. She makes this merchant house grow beyond its own limits by becoming a force to be reckoned with. You know, like she uses her contacts and she uses her abilities to blackmail other houses into getting rights, into getting claiming rights over other planets, over other endeavors. And she begins to. She's kind of like a mafia boss, you know, in a sense. And yeah, that's how I imagine her right now. You know, she's like a mafia boss that gets her fingers in every kind of pie that she can find. You know. But we still have to decide what would she do in this world. I mean, she could just be forceful and take over lands, but she's gonna meet an NPC. This NPC faction. She might try to ally these guys. I mean, she's not stupid, right? She just got on the planet. She doesn't have the strength to face these guys, so it might be interesting to just trade around, you know. But yeah, that's an interesting prospect for her, you know, kind of like this cunning manipulative assassin that is using her own talents to grow as in this. So everyone basically knows that House of Razor is not a house to be trifled with. You know, it's a house that will break contracts, will screw people around if they have to. So if you want to do business with these guys, you gotta be useful for them, or you're gonna be that would be interesting as well to actually work with these guys. You know, she wants probably Aztec technology. She wants to understand heritage legacies. So yeah, she would ensure basically some sort of a headquarters here. She would work on production and growth first. But as soon as she understands she has the strength, she'd probably betray these guys and stump them. That's how I see this happening, you know. So speaking of which, let's just set the production. Um, yeah, we actually should focus first on production and people, right? So efficient biofarm, only central structure, one central structure, replicator factory. I could just increase production here. Leave the others because, but production is gonna be, yeah, I could actually work on a big production center here. Let me see how many turns do I need to. Growth comes in 4 turns. Yeah, I'm not gonna put the biofarm here. I don't think it would match her idea. It's either the central science lab or the replicator factory, you know. I don't really see. I actually need more research to get where I want, you know. Let me check the. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the science lab, even though it might be confusing at first, but I actually want to get to the espionage stuff soon to actually characterize her house, you know. She's basically, first thing that she would try to do is establish this HQ, but it would be all, I think it would be bent towards getting info, you know, knowing the people, knowing the lay of the land, you know, understanding who's who in this planet, on this planet, and using this information to blackmail people and get what she wants. So yeah, I think that would be her style, you know, like this sly mobster. Yeah, I think that's an interesting pattern for her. Colony Center, Arcadian, fertile plains. Yeah, all research and food signaling +1 level. Yeah, I mean this sector actually has it, so it would be actually better to produce food here, but fine. So let's get to the espionage thing, and since they are like, she probably understands that energy means power. So we actually should consider this down the line, maybe steer a little away from the production thing. I don't know. Might think about that. For that, you should go towards the mountains. Yeah, I love the music. Yeah, I think that's an interesting start for us. Okay, so what do we have east? City of the Fallen. Well, basically my guys are exploring the ruins of a big metropolis. Right around the bend of a river here. Between the river and the lake. Might try to get these here as they got to Runner's Coastline. Look at that. That's fate. Okay. Fine, perfect. Well, it's 2 hours already. I know I took a long time just talking about stuff and stuttering about stuff, really. And building my character and all, but I actually think that this is how I love to play games and how I love to play this one, you know, imagining things around this sci-fi, this big sci-fi epic that's unfolding. It actually inspires me to write, but that's another story. For now, I'm gonna leave you guys, and I'll see you when I see you. You know, we're gonna continue this. As I said, this is gonna become our bread and butter around here. So brace yourselves. So see you guys later.